Hello, it's Ian Cunningham from H&H Classic Auctions. We're just setting up here at the National Motorcycle Museum for the spring auction. More or less sorted out with 275 lots altogether, so a busy couple of days getting them all in. As normal, you would enter the auction through the foyer, the front door of the museum. In the front room, we've put a selection of Nortons for something a bit different. We've got a selection of Nortons, essentially Norton twins. Sort of the history of Norton twins, really. So I think three Dominators. There is a single over there, but the rest of them are 650, 600 twins. Going up to the Commandos, so 750 and 850 Commandos here. And also including a couple of the new Commanders, as opposed to these. So these were the bikes that have been made in recent times. This one here, they call it the Henry Cole Special. Henry Cole did the design for this bike, and they made a limited number. So that's a quite rare collectible version. The other 961 is called the John Player Norton Special. So this is the early 70s John Player Norton team colours. So lots of selection here of Nortons and showing the history of Norton as well. If you look at the bike here, look carefully as well because it's got a matching sidecar. This is a Brough SS80, actually in one family ownership for 63 years. Sounds like the family, holidays, kids in the sidecar. It's been their sort of main transport at times and also their main hobby. Finally letting it move on after 63 years, but beautiful looking bike, big V-twin engine and a fantastic looking sidecar to go with it. Just around the rest of the foyer, mainly Harley Davidsons through the ages. Some early sort of, maybe not pre-war, but very early ones. Obviously, one over here, this is a WLC, so looking at the maple leaf on the side, I'm guessing that was the Canadian version of it, a WLC version. Couple of, I think we've 2 or 3 new Harley Davidsons, big Harley Davidsons, full dress Harleys. So again, quite a selection of bikes like that. So as you come into the main room, this is the main auction room. Quite a lot of bikes in here, but obviously all set up with the chairs for the auction tomorrow. Scooter section starts at 10 o'clock, the motorcycle section at 12 o'clock. Top end of the room are mainly European bikes, all European, essentially Italian. As you can tell, lots of red Ducatis, but a couple of Laverdas, a couple of Moto Guzzis, lined up of BMWs. This one here, 900 SS, one of the classic 1970s Ducatis. Really sought after. Just behind it, another 70s, late 70s, very collectible Ducati Mark Elwood replica, one of the earlier ones without the side panels there. So again, 2 early Ducatis, but really nice collectible ones. As you then move around the room, centre section here then, 4 Vincents. We haven't got a lot of Vincents this time, but we do run the gamut. Obviously Black Shadow there, 2 Comets, two Vincent Comets. Very similar looking bikes. Single cylinder, obviously, them. This one here is actually an HRD, so before they became Vincent, they sold the bikes as HRD. That's a pre-war one, so that was made in 1939. Lots more external tubing on those bikes. The engine is more vertical, so quite a lot different to the 500s after the war. Very few of these made, probably only a couple of hundred were made, and again, some of the more collectible bikes from that era. Down this line here, few very much pre-war, good selection, Triumph, Douglas, bikes like that. All really, 1910 up to 1920s. Totally different to bikes we have now, but fascinating to look at and look at the technology of the day. Sometimes names people have not really heard of too much, like an Edwell. It's sort of new to me, is that one. So that's quite an unusual thing and presented really well. It's a beautiful looking bike. Just over my shoulder, competition corner, off-road bikes essentially. So quite a nice little selection of off-road bikes there. This one here, Husqvarna CR450, early mid-70s. Everybody calls it the Steve McQueen bike. There's a classic poster of Steve McQueen riding one of these in the California desert. So very sought after, and again, running, usable, sort of rideable bike is that one. So Japanese lineup here, again, quite a selection. Starting off at the end, there's an RD 350 YPVS. Bikes like that, very iconic 70s bikes, GT 750, that's the B model, the last ones they made, 1978. So a few differences to the early ones. Again, up and running, nice straight bike that could be used tomorrow, that one. As we move down the line, GS1000 again, Stepping stone bike in its day, late 70s, that was the best thing you could buy. Probably beat finally in the mid-80s by the Kawasaki GP Z900. Again, a bike that when it came out was way above everything else you could buy at the time. Little 400 under there. This one at the end here, quite interesting. It's an Honda CB450 known as the Black Bomber. The first big Japanese bike. Prior to that, we were just thought to be learning bikes, go to work bikes, but suddenly they came out with the 450 Twin that was technically so much more advanced than the British bikes from the era. And this is where, you know, the Japanese started with bigger bikes that's culminated and dominating the world. As you look around then along this wall, we've actually created a bit of a sort of problem for ourselves, having the idea of triumphs in chronological order. So we start off with 1946-47, I think it is Speed Twin. So just after the war, Speed Twin. Bike came out before the war, but then that interrupted things. So after the war, telescopic forks, but still things like the dash panel in the petrol tank that really date it. Speed Twin, a bit like we've said with some of the other bikes over there. When this came out, it was a stepping stone bike. Everybody had to copy Norton, BSA, everybody else had to then come out with the competitor for it. If you do come tomorrow, it's really good then to walk down this line because you can almost see the developments of Triumph through the ages. So we work all the way down that line until eventually you get to the bikes at the bottom. Quite obviously younger, they've got fairings on them. They're what you call an Inkley Triumph, so they're the rebirth of Triumph in the 90s, coming out with far more modern bikes, basically copied off the Japanese back in the day. Filling the gap in the middle, another then assortment of British bikes, Royal Enfields. This line up here are cafe racers. So very popular image for British bikes where people take a standard bike and do something with it. And sometimes very imaginative. This one here, for instance, an Harley Davidson cafe racer, quite unusual. You think of Harley Davidson as being sort of cruiser bikes, custom bikes. But that's somebody who's got the Harley Davidson layout, but give it very much a British cafe racer Triton look about it. So again, something different. Gold Star, probably just about qualifies as a cafe racer. Still a popular bike, the 500 Gold Star, and very, very affordable bikes like that now. Back at the end here, again, using the Harley engine. You got the Harley engine in there, but with a Matisse frame. So very much an handmade. You look at the quality of the welding on the frame, it's beautiful. So a very sort of specialised bike, but really good looking. Gone down here now, Velocets, a selection of Velocets. All singles, the Velocets, they were always singles, but some of them are a bit more special, like overhead cam ones, bikes like this one here, overhead cam engine. So again, in its day, that was very much in front of its time. Something again, we're talking about being unusual, is the Ariel Square 4. Came out in the early 30s. We do have some 1930s Ariels in the other room, Square 4s. These are the later ones where they have a 1000cc engine, but very distinctive with having an engine in the square shape. Normally engines are singles or in a line, but that's unusual in itself. Just talking of specials, this is the Aero Square 4 engine in the Norton frame. So it's been christened an Arton as a combination of the two. Very much a special, but professionally made. Backline, again, assortment of the British names. Nice lineup of BSAs here, a couple of Rocket 3s, so probably late 60s, very early 70s. 3-cylinder, this will be very much the end of the line for British bikes from that era. Soon after this, unfortunately, BSA closed down, Triumph not long after. So this was the peak of the first incarnation of the British bike industry. So these are the bikes up on the stage. Generally, we put bikes up on the stage, either the headline bikes or bikes that are just nice and interesting and good quality bikes. Unusual Harley Davidson there, again, not a full-on custom bike like you would expect, 883R, so sort of semi-sports bike, semi-cafe racer, but still with the character of an Harley Davidson, but a nice bright bike. Traditional Harley Davidson racing colours in orange. Next to it, blue and white GSXR, again, traditional racing colours. When that came out, that was yet another stepping stone bike. That was 20% better than whatever else were on the road at the time. So in the history of motorcycling, that's quite an important bike. The bike that's in the centre of the stage is the headline bike in the show. Now, this is a Brough SS100. Fantastic history, read up about this, there's a fantastic verified history. Actually built for George Brough himself to use. He rode it in a trial in Edinburgh back in the 30s, it must have been. Beautifully presented, so Broughs is still like some of the most sought after bikes in the world and always hit the headlines. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that one tomorrow. Last two up here, and again, headline bike in the show. This is the new BSA Gold Star 500. Now, it's actually the bike that Dave Mize, the earlier biker, used in his last TV series. Sadly passed away last year, as we all know. Fantastic personality on, obviously, cooking, but bikes as well. They had that incredible day last year where they called it Dave Day, where 30,000 bikes drove up to Barrow-in-Furness in a tribute ride. A fantastic sort of show of respect. So that's the new BSA Gold Star that he rode. Comes with the sign, actually. They've just said that the sign that the museum have had behind it, they will include that with the sale. So quite an historic bike in its own small way. Just as a contrast, we've actually put a genuine old Gold Star on the stage. So that was a probably early 60s, that one. But that's what this particular modern day take is based on. So it's nice to contrast the two and realise what a nice replica that one is. So this is the last room. We're still setting up. That's why there's a lot of activity in the background and a bit of noise. This room is essentially pre-war. The criteria to come here is normally Gurdie Fork, so that's what we aim for. So that means they're mainly British. Again, lots of names you've probably not even heard of. Some of them more popular than others. So good look round here. Again, you can certainly look at the history of motorcycling in this room. This is also the bidders registration room. So when you come to the auction, you would want to come in here and go behind the desk. There'll be staff there at that point, but checking you in. If you are coming to the auction and you're thinking of bidding, it's well worthwhile registering online first. Saves time when you actually get here. If you've already registered, you come in here, show them your driving licence as ID or a passport, give them your postcode. If you're registered, they can give you a bidder's number very quickly. We're not wasting any time. But yeah, if you get the chance, register as a bidder beforehand. It saves time tomorrow. Also, on the back wall there is the documents office. When you come to look at the bikes, all the documents that are going to come with the bike are going to be in the files there. So it's well worthwhile going and checking out what paperwork is going to come with them. Possibly spare parts. Some bikes come with a considerable amount of spare parts. We've got an Harris race bike in the other room that has spare wheels, spare bodywork, and even a spare engine with it. So it's well worthwhile checking out what you're going to get for your money. Back in the foyer again, 3 Harleys have just arrived. Full dress, full custom cruiser Harley Davidsons in the auction tomorrow, of course. So yeah, the auction is tomorrow, Wednesday the 26th of March. Viewing available from 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 25th. We open the doors tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. The scooter section starts at 10 o'clock, the motorcycle section at 12 o'clock. 275 lots to get through, so it's going to be a full day. But lots of bikes to look at in a great venue, so it's well worthwhile coming along and seeing if there's anything that attracts your attention. As mentioned previously, if you want to bid, register beforehand. You can register online on our website at www.h&h.co.uk. It's worthwhile doing that because obviously it saves time tomorrow. What you do tomorrow, you go into the bidder's reg room, show them your driving licence, your passport as ID, and they can give you a bidder's number straight away. So get that out of the way before, and then you're not queuing up tomorrow. So we do look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. I think the weather's going to hold out as well. If you buy a bike, there are transport companies in the room who can do the transport side if you can't manage to take the bike away yourself. So everything is available for you. Just come along and see if there's anything that attracts your attention.